just over 3 miles an hour. Nonetheless, sometimes pelicans are getting rather territorial. Sometimes they get close to the track or on the track, and we do have to slow down or stop. We do great for animals here at the zoo. So in case we have any of those situations, we do ask that for your safety that throughout the trip that you remain seated. And if there are any young ones less than the age of 3, that they be kept on the lap of an adult. Also, because of the proximity of some of the bamboo stalks, as you can see, some of the trees and the rocks that are pretty close to the tracks. For your safety, keep all hands, arms, heads, legs, and feet inside the cars. If you've got water, please make good use of it. Otherwise, our keepers have asked that we refrain from any other eating or drinking while on the train so that nothing is accidentally dropped into any of these areas that might cause the animals harm should they choose to try them. Also, no smoking or chewing or spitting, please. And finally, just as a courtesy to your fellow passengers, please keep any extended conversations, cell phone or otherwise, to a minimum. The first animals that we see are these large dark brown animals with striped hindquarters and striped front legs.
Where are they?
Okapis, O-K-A-P-I-S.
Where are they? I don't see
They're
them.
related to giraffes. You might notice the similarity in the head shape.
I don't see them.
They also have that
Oh.
long tongue that's a characteristic of giraffes.
What is that? It's a zebra. Wow, it's black.
What they use to browse the
Oh, why is it black? It's the gangster zebra. It's right here.
West Virginia and the northeastern corner of a very large Central African country, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, very close to the equator. They are also a relatively recent large land animal discovery. It was just back in the early, I guess the late 1880s.
I don't see any
expedition of Sir Henry Stanley about 20 years after he went looking for Dr. Livingstone. They first heard about okapis from the interior rainforest natives. Now, about 15 or 1,600 miles to the northeast of that interior rainforest are the Red Sea Mountains. Along the Red Sea in the country of Egypt, on those mountains we would find mountain goats called ibex, I-B-E-X. Now, these specifically are
Is it fake?
ibex.
Oh, look, it's over there too.
There are different kinds of ibex around the world. Nubia is the geographical area of the Nile River around Egypt, Sudan, the country south of Egypt. These Nubian ibex have hooks that act kind of like suction cups. And what they use to keep from losing their traction when they run across the rocks.
What's that?
Back
No,
in
it's not.
1996, endangered species of animal. Endangered is the second level of threat in the wild below extinct in the wild. The first and highest level, just below extinct in the wild, is the critically endangered. Conservation efforts since 1996, most significantly Egypt having banned the hunting of the Nubian ibex in that country altogether, has reduced their decline in the wild over the past 10 years to about 8%. So they're now down to that third level of threat in the wild, below extinct in the wild, which is labeled vulnerable. Now, moving another 15 or 1,600 miles straight south of those Red Sea Mountains are some woodland areas in the countries of Kenya or Tanzania. We would find African termite mounds like the three-tone columns over on the left side of the habitat here in front of us. But over on the right, see a couple of large zebras. And these are the largest species of zebra in the world.
Where? Where is it? There, right there. Oh, so small.
Distinguished from other zebras not only by their size, but
It's
also
not
they
moving.
have much
They're like
narrower
the zebra.
stripes. You see that those stripes generally go up and down vertically rather than back and forth horizontally.
Dude, I think
they
it's
only
fake.
go down to their bellies. Rabbit zebras may well also
not
be
even
the
moving.
largest horse-like type animal found in the wild.
Moving, see, it's moving.
Because of those white bellies, I suppose if you ever wanted to
Not anymore.
a white animal with dark stripes or a dark animal with the white stripes, at least in the case of the Grevy zebra here, you got some sort of You can see also they have very large round ears. You might notice the plain zebras or grant zebras that we have over in our giant savanna area. They have much smaller pointed ears like those of a horse. The Grebbe zebras also tend to stay together in small, isolated groups rather than the vast herds of the plain zebras that we're probably more familiar with, stampeding across the savannas. The Grebbe zebra is also an endangered species of animal. Only a couple thousand of them left in the wild. Just over the past 18 years, their wild population is declined by about half. And they're called Grebbe zebras, by the way. It was a French naturalist back in the early 1880s that distinguished them as a separate species, named them in honor of his president and the fourth president of the Republic of France. His name was Grebbe. Now, over here on the far right is this next small habitat with the bars. Right in the back there on the ground beneath the rocks is an African cat. That cat, even though it looks to be about the same size as our cats at home, it does have longer legs.
Oh, I told it.
That cat is called a caracal. C-A-R-A-C-A-L.
Take a picture of it.
A word derived from the Turkish word that means...
Dude, I'm recording. Oh, it's a video? Yeah.
And their long legs do allow them to outrun small animals for short distances. They can also leap up to 8 feet in the air. They are the first of the predator-type animals that we see here on our safari. Predator animals are those that kill and eat other animals. Doesn't necessarily make them bad. They do have their place and their function, as does every animal in nature that has its place and purpose in maintaining nature's delicate balance. Those animals that kill and eat other animals can keep our plant-eating animals from overeating our plants, just like our plant-eating animals keep our plant growth under control.
So cool. Look at all those pelicans. Yeah. So cool. Oh, yeah, look. Birds. Yeah, what, you didn't see them before? I gotta look at all those pelicans. Oh, ducks. Pelicans. Right?
Some of the inhabitants of Africa's river areas and lake areas are in our river habitat here. Africa does have white pelicans, larger than those that we get to see along our Texas Gulf Coast. All pelicans, though,
no, I wish I was a duck.
pouches underneath their beaks.
That sounds bird. Why? Birds can fly and they can go in water. Oh, yeah.
About 3 gallons of water.
That kind of bird?
Fish. They scoop up the water along with the fish, and then they'll stream out the water and swallow the fish. Sometimes on average about 4 pounds of fish a day. Also keep an eye out back in the woods for some large antelope with shaggy brown coats. They weigh about 400 pounds, look kind of like mule deer. Those are water ducks.
They're starting deep.
No, not kind of deep. Whenever they're frightened, their sweat glands give off a foul-smelling odor that permeates their meat. So that's kind of their defense mechanism. Whenever they're pursued by predators that they've had any experience with them, they generally leave off the chase.
Smells weird. Smells like water. Smells like water. Yeah, it smells like water. Not water. Water too. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, a bird. African bird.
There are 3 different kinds of ducks further downstream on this side of the falls. And then also, I see a blackbird on the rim over the water. That blackbird, larger blackbird with a white throat. That is a white-breasted cormorant.
Where is it?
C-O-R-M-O-R-A-N-T.
I see it.
Excellent swimmer underwater. They dive down to up to 20, 25 feet in the water to catch fish.
I know, but there's also ducks down there.
On that wall.
Nope.
The small ducks with a white edge whistle instead of clap.
There,
All white-faced whistling ducks.
there.
Also, the
I don't see it.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah.
F-U-L-V-O-U-S. Also along our Texas Gulf Coast, as well as in Africa, South America. The larger ducks, probably very familiar looking, they are local residents, mallard ducks. Now mallards, of course, have those bright green heads. But they are in Africa too, primarily in the western part of the continent, especially along the Mediterranean coast in the countries of Tunisia and Morocco. In contrast to Africa's rivers and lakes, about a fourth of the entire continent consists of the Sahara Desert. Africa's largest desert averages about 4 inches of precipitation a year. That's only about a fifth or 20% of what we average here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Deserts are generally areas of the Earth's land surface that are characterized as getting about 10 inches or less of precipitation on average per year. Around the Sahara, there used to be in very abundant herds these white animals you see out in front of us. These are Adex antelopes, A-D-E-A-S. They are now critically endangered, even though they're very well adapted to living in the desert because of their coloration and their water consumption. They can probably go their entire lives just getting the water they need from the plants that they eat. But they're relatively slow, so they're vulnerable to natural predators. Hunters on horses have overhunted them, so the Adex antelope is now a critically endangered animal. Only a few hundred of them left in the Sahara, more in the zoos in captivity than there are in the wild. In contrast to the larger antelope with the black markings and straight horns over in this next habitat, these are gemsboks, G-E-M-S-B-O-K-S. They're found primarily in the Kalahari Desert in the southern part of the continent, along with the ostriches that you see over in the shade on the far right side of this habitat. Those ostriches have white-brown feathers, so that characterizes them as females. Male ostriches have all black feathers. And then just directly in front of this third gemsbok here that's reclining here under the shade is another white antelope. It's actually a gazelle with brown markings and shorter horns. That is the tallest of the world's species of gazelles. That's an Adragazelle, A-D-R-A. Now, the Adragazelle is also native to the Sahara Desert, and it too is a critically endangered animal. Only, again, a few hundred of them left in the wild. Just in the past 10 years, they've experienced about a 2% decline in their population. Over here on the right, standing just to the right of the pond, in this small scrub area, there's another one over on the back of the habitat. That big large vulture, that dark vulture, is a lappet-faced vulture, L-A-P-P-E-T-faced. Lappet-faced vultures are Africa's largest vulture. They can get up to a wingspan of about 9 feet, which is only about 2 feet less than the longest wingspan of any bird that flies over here. Why? The Indian condor. And a few of those over there. The lappet-faced vultures have strong toes and beaks that can tear through even the toughest of hides. So they're reclining in the shade over on the far left, about 2 yards behind the flowing water, is another large antelope with a reddish-brown coat, feather white spots, and thick horns. And eastern bongos are the largest antelope that lives in Africa off the forests or jungles. They lay those thick horns against their shoulders when they run through the jungle. That's how they keep them in the branches of the jungle or the underbrush. Although they too are another critically endangered animal. Back in 2007, last time the count was attempted, there were only estimated to be about 70 to 140 of them left in the wild. Africa's bush habitats average about the same amount of rainfall that we get here in our Dallas-Fort Worth area. That tall bird standing there in the water with the gray wings and a long beak is a marabou stork. M-A-R-A-B-O-U. Directly behind that marabou stork is a female greater kudu. There are lesser kudus that look about the same. They're not half that size. The male is further back over to her right. To the left of the male greater kudu is another small gazelle with black markings. That is a Thompson's gazelle. You can see our male ostrich in the area.
It's fake, right? I think it's fake. No, I think it's fake.
In front of the male ostrich, a couple more lappet-faced vultures. And then directly in front of those lappet-faced vultures, those tall birds with the gold feathers on their heads, those are crowned cranes. There were also 3 antelope in there with long thin necks, which you may have noticed. Those antelopes are called Gerenuks, G-E-R-E-N-U-K-S. The one with the horns was the daddy, the one without the horns was the female, and now there's a small Gerenuk calf in there. It was smaller than the others. Gerenuk is a Somali word, it means giraffe neck. Also over on the right, you may have noticed that large tree. It looked like an upside-down tree. That's just a replica of Africa's largest and oldest tree. They all have trees.
Remember the tree that was
They can get up to a certain
I knew it.
about 100 feet, and sometimes an age of about 2,000 years. Now, the rest of these areas are areas that we'll be able to return to on our gorilla trail for a leisurely visit. And also along this part of the track, we can re-emphasize our request that everybody please do stay in your seats, since this is the steepest and windiest part of the track. We have over a dozen chimpanzees here at the Dallas Zoo, and the smaller troop, we have 2 troops, the smaller troop is out there, and you see the
So high, man.
the troop gathered over here on the right, underneath this tree closest to us. There are 5 members. Now, the smallest members, one is just a few months short of a year old. They're over here on the right. The other is just a year old. They're out here with their respective mamas. And then the largest that's there in the group, that is Doyle. He's the daddy down there. Doyle's about 40 years old. In that guest viewing area, over on the right of the windows, you'll be able to read some more about them. There's a brief biography and description. Our largest chimpanzee here at the zoo weighs about 160 pounds. Our oldest is about 53 years old. In the pond in front of us in this next habitat are 3 Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles are Africa's largest crocodile. They can get up to a length of 20 feet and a weight of about 1,800 pounds. Second largest in the world, second to Australian saltwater crocodile. Our largest here is about 14 feet long, weighs about 100 pounds. Looks like we've got some party going on here. This next habitat will see one cranes. These tall birds with a long white neck. Wattled crane, W-A-T-T-L-E-D, so called because of the white feathery wattles behind their beaks. That is a wattled crane couple, like most swans and vultures. Wattled crane males and females form permanent unions throughout their lives. They are Africa's tallest crane. They can get up to a height of about 5.5 feet. The part of the gorilla trail that we're going alongside now is adjacent to our 2 one-acre gorilla habitats. The big windows that you see in front of us provide light to their bedrooms, to which our gorillas retire every evening. We're actually going over their bedrooms just now. We have 5 gorillas here at the zoo, 2 females, 3 males. They range in age from just over 30 years old on down to just over 10 years old. And probably the best place to see our gorillas initially is from inside our Gorilla Research Center. That center has a brief description and biography of the gorillas that are out today. It will let you know which of the 2 habitats they're in. When you walk around the gorilla trail, which has a large walk-through forest aviary with other African birds in it, a rocky area full of copy with other African animals like our meerkats, you'll also find several overlooks and viewing bunkers that will enhance your view of the 2 gorilla habitats. Also on the gorilla trail, our daughter tortoises and meerkats, saddle-billed storks, Africa's tallest stork. When you want to go see our African elephants, giraffes, lions, cheetahs, warthogs, and other animals native to the savannas, look for that gold-thatched roof-shaped structure that we just passed in front of. That area, that's the entrance to our Giants of the Savannah area, which opened up just a little over 2 years ago, makes this Dallas Zoo the largest geographical zoo in the state of Texas now. The rocky area directly across from the trees in front of us now, this is the home to our mandrills. Mandrills are the world's largest species of monkey. The male mandrill is the one down there with a big colorful face. He can weigh about 100 pounds, and since the males are about twice as big as the females, the 2 others in there that are much smaller are the girls. Around on the curve just below us, we see Africa's only species of penguin native to that continent, the black-throated penguin, or African penguin. They live all along the southern coast. And they too are an endangered species of bird. Over the past 30 years, their wild population has declined by about 60%. Now, while you're here at the Dallas Zoo, don't forget to visit some more. That's the original part of the zoo. Over there, you'll find our newest residents, the koalas and other animals that are native to Australia. Our herpetarium has a world-renowned collection of reptiles and amphibians. Over there also are large hiders and other big cats, big birds of prey, as well as our rhinoceros and camels, our children's zoo, and our unique Bug University if you're out there having trips and such. Just across from the monorail station are our lesser flamingos. These are flamingos that grow to a height of about 3 feet. The ones over there with the dark feathers are the youngest. There are a few more with the lighter feathers. A little bit older than the youngest, and then there's one over there, a little bit taller than the rest, and still has white gray legs. That's the first lesser flamingo to have ever been born here at the Dallas Zoo just about a year and a half ago. Well, as we end our safari, we thank you for making the Dallas Zoo a part of your day, for joining us on our safari here, and I'll open those back doors as soon as we come to a complete stop. If you're on the back row, please do remember there is a step down before you leave the train. If you're on the front row, there's a step up. Please exit towards me, towards the front of the train. I'll be available to answer your questions, clarify anything you need clarified. Thank you again for being with us today. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.